the thing.
I did. And you couldn't see the link?
No, I'm on my phone. Do I look fine? Because I can't see myself.
Yeah, but I kept texting you the link. How did you not see it?
It took me to 404 page not found, and I thought you guys were trying to ditch me. And that wasn't nice.
I wonder if you don't have the latest version on your phone.
So are you on your phone or your laptop?
I'm on my computer.
I tried to do it from my computer, and I was able to do it from my phone.
Because you can't see comments on the phone, can you?
I don't think so. It says you're in the show, which I've been waiting my whole life to hear those words. You're in the show.
Yeah, it's like your Winelda Diaries, who's moving to Los Angeles to have a show.
You told me that, but I didn't know what show.
Who is that?
Winelda. I mean, have you watched her?
No.
She is a comedian, but also like dabbles in autism.
He has a recently diagnosed son with pretty severe autism.
But doesn't do much in this, and not saying it's in a negative way, but doesn't like engage with the autism community is what I'm saying.
No, I think it's still pretty new to her. From what I gather, is that the autism thing is, they're like still at the point where there's no sleeping at night.
Mm. Those are rough days.
Right? So we, all three of us are, I mean, you know, we dabble in that, but that's not like a way of life.
Right.
Winnie has a double ear infection, so I am diving into that life. We're gonna do that. We're doing the tubes. I'm like, forget all this. I'm like, I'm not wasting time. Give her the tubes. I'll put them in myself.
Tubes.
Did
are
your
your
other
friends.
kids have tubes?
So Cooper's had, because of the whole autism, not being able to communicate, all that stuff, he had 7 sets of tubes.
Oh,
no
my
lie.
It's 5.
And Harbor had 1. So 3 out of the 4 kids have just crummy ears, just crummy.
All 5 of mine had them. They said the Eustachian tubes, we just made them too flat. All my kids, they're too flat. But Henry, my youngest, had them at 8 weeks. I was at the same thing. Like, I cannot do this.
Yep. But
you
know what I find so hard about healthcare? Like, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this because we all have big families. Like, I feel like I can tell you what's going on with Winnie now. She's got double ear infection. I called before I went in. But so, like, brought her to the pediatrician, you know, have to wait. Everything's so annoying. Call the ENT. She can't get in until January 25th. And it's like, just, can we skip that and just put the tubes in?
Yes.
You know, 6 ear infections, 5 months. It's time.
Oh, gosh. And they don't sleep. Whoops. They don't sleep with ear infections ever.
No.
So Nora has just said Winelda, she thinks, is going to be with Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, I love her. I'm getting my iced tea.
Super famous.
I mean, they're full legit moving to California.
That's brave.
I don't think Adrian could move to California.
I don't have much desire. I'm pretty dug in here in New Hampshire. Wait, so are you getting snow, Kate? We're not getting any snow.
We're getting a blizzard. We're looking at the whole world is shut down over here. And I was telling Adrian before you popped on, when I was younger, like, we like snow shoveled to school. And I'm not that old, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we really went. Yet. Now with the kids' daycare, they're like, we're going to go ahead and shut down Thursday, Friday. We don't even know what's going to happen. Oh. And I'm like, what?
How good were you at holding your tongue when they told you that?
Oh, they send it in text messages.
Oh, so they don't want to hear your feedback. They don't want to hear from you.
Oh, I razz the teachers pretty good. I'm like, so big vacation coming up, huh? Big vacation. They're like, oh, we're so excited.
We have one more day of school and then our vacation starts. So ours are only off for like 10 days.
What? I don't understand this. We've been out since last Friday at noon.
That's crazy.
Where are you again? North Carolina?
Yeah. Where am I? Yes. I feel like I'm in like South Korea. I mean, I don't know why we've been out so long.
But what about your 2 older boys, Adrian?
They're home. They got home Saturday. One, they're around. One went skiing yesterday with a friend. He's on his way back.
You were talking to one in a video, and I'm not sure which one it was.
The big one, the oldest one.
He had gone somewhere and then asked to stay, which is so a teenage move in my house. My middle is exactly like that. Like, he'd rather ask forgiveness than permission. That's what we call it. Mm-hmm. And also how they have to be soccer viewers now. All of a sudden we're into soccer. It's the same conversation in my house, I swear.
Yeah, I'm sitting in.
Your son is so handsome, Adrian. Like, he is like cutest boy. Is this your older one?
Yes, that's my oldest.
How old is he?
He's just turned 17 yesterday.
Gosh,
and they're always so put together. Mine look homeless half the time.
homeless.
No,
Honestly.
I mean, it's like occasionally they, put on nice clothes, and then the rest of the time they have on sweatpants.
I brought Sawyer to the grocery store today, and he was wearing a windbreaker. We're in a blizzard. The high today is -4. He's wearing a windbreaker, and he had Nutella all over his face. And I had told him 5 times to wipe it off. It had like congealed to and he said in front of everyone when I tried to do this, he said to me, he's like, "Don't touch me. I like myself just the way I am. Why do you always have to change me?"
This self-love has gone too far. The pendulum for self-love has swung way too far.
You're homeless. Like, you need to go find somewhere. Go away.
I was in Panera. I eat lunch by myself a lot. And I saw this adorable young couple, like 17 years old, right? Gray sweatsuits. That's what they wore. That was like, you wouldn't go near that with a 10-foot pole. All my kids wear gray sweatpants now. That's, to me, I don't know. That is
I love sweatpants. You don't
I love them, but at least do a black, I guess, or a navy.
That makes me think of like Hanes' old man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, for 2 days, I've had on pajama pants, and today I added a mink coat to it.
Of course you did.
You have a mink coat.
Yes, it's a very, very sad, large mink that was my mother's. And I wear it a lot because I just feel like the need to not waste it.
Yeah, I can. Have you guys seen White Lotus?
Kill it.
You didn't kill it. Have you seen White Lotus on HBO Max?
No.
Oh, it's really good, but it's strange. I just started it, and Joe's like, "I don't want to watch this. It's too weird." But I'm like hooked. But that look you just described reminds me of one woman on there. She's like, she's kind of like a loose screw, and she's always got something kind of mismatched on. She's so funny.
She just said I reminded of her somebody with a loose screw.
A little bit of a loose cannon. Will you bring it to the cruise, Scott? I feel like you could dress that up.
It's gonna be too hot. So last week we went over some topics. I'm gonna get you people on target.
Oh, on target.
Oh, yes, please direct us.
One thing we ventured into last week that I really did want to discuss was this whole concept of balancing life with child with autism and other children. And I wanted to start by sharing kind of what I had learned from my followers about this, right? Of siblings.
But we should do introductions first because people are asking.
Okay. You go ahead, Carrie.
I'm Carrie Cariello, mother of 5. My second son, Jack, is diagnosed with autism. He may pop. You may see like a giant figure waft by.
He's back from college.
He'd have to be on his knees to actually get his head in the camera because he's 6'5". He's back from his college program. He's giant. And I have all teenagers. They are 19, 18, 17, 15, and about to be 14. And I'm married, as we saw last week on my live. He is real. He's picking up Subway. He might even be around the corner.
It's a model of health.
People lurking all over. We have a girlfriend in the house. The inn is full here.
So everyone's home?
Everybody's home until my oldest is leaving the day after Christmas. He's like, I'm out of here. So that's me. I'm a blogger, and I have a book called What Color is Monday, which I raffled off, and I have to pick the winner. And you guys tell me how you pick. Okay, go ahead. Kate, you go. Your
book is sitting just beyond that wall. I was looking at it last night. It's on my fireplace.
That's so sweet.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate. Someone asked where I'm from. I'm in Minnesota. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm in Minnesota, and we're getting a little bit of a blizzard right now, which is exciting because the world kind of just slows down, which is good, but not good before Christmas. High stress. I have 4 kids as well. I have Cooper, who's 12. He's my kiddo on the spectrum. I have Sawyer, who is 9, Harbor, who's 4, and Winnie, who is 1. And I wrote my book, which I think some of you read in Adrian's group. Right. And we're going to discuss at some point. We're dangling.
Yes, we're going to have book club. It's just a little behind. We had some sickness we had to get through.
Yeah. And I just try to share stories of, I try to paint a picture of autism that is easy to take in and understand, because sometimes I feel like it gets so clinical and so black and white. And I try to make it a little bit more colorful. And Cooper is very, very colorful. So that's me.
Nice
Amy, if you want to order my book, just see, I'm going to do a little plug, Adrienne, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
go ahead. Selling signed copies for $20. They're signed by all, is this one signed? No, they're signed by all 6 Swensons, and I will send it out to you. So if you want a link for that, let me know.
Yeah, can you put it in while we're talking?
Yes, I shall.
I think it also would be good to put a link in. So Carrie and Kate both have subscriber pages, which is where we kind of, Carrie asked about it and Kate was like, yeah, let's all 3 do it. So last week we were over on Carrie's page.
Yes.
What Color is Monday. And this week we're on my page. And is it next week we're on your page, Kate?
Yep.
So
Post
we
Christmas.
It's later because it's probably better for Kate so Kate's on Central Time and we're both on Eastern Time.
Because it's dinner time here right now. It's 5:15.
I know. I feel bad when we do these this time.
Yeah, I know it's bad times at your house. So anyway, so this is really nice. I've been so excited about it. Hold on, I have to go get something I want to show you people.
She's so fancy right now.
She is. Oh, so I'll take a moment and say I don't wear sweatshirts often, but I love this one. And it's by I ordered it from a place called Sophie. It says, go ask your dad. Sophie and Pip.
Oh,
and,
fun.
I know, it's so cute. And it's really, really soft. So I thought, well, I'll wear it tonight. I'm on my phone, so I can't see any comments. So if somebody asks something that is relevant to me, let me know.
I have on heels.
I heard.
Did you?
I heard you clacking about.
I feel like an 11-year-old I don't wear shoes. I wear like slippers, I'm like clonking all over the place. So we had to get some stockings. My 3 older children have stockings that match. So then I was like, well, I'm going to get 3 stockings that match us because the person that made those ain't making anymore. So we're not getting those. So I ordered one for the dog, one for Ava. So there'd be 6. And I was like, well, I'll get my husband and I a stocking together.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw this. It's so funny.
I went around with Garnet Hill, and I was going to put, Thomas and Adrian. Well, that was too many letters. So I put big T because little T is our son, and A. And when I did it on the little computer, it said big T and A, capital.
That's like a euphemism for something else, right?
No, I don't. No,
tits and ass. Is that what we're talking about?
I don't swear on Facebook.
Which one's a swear word? Tits? Oh.
So
I have a rule about that too. I don't swear either. That's kind of funny. I'll tell you a funny story about that later.
Neither do I.
I don't want to get put in jail.
Well, let me tell you my funny story really quickly before Adrienne does this. I made a commitment to never swear ever, ever, ever on my Facebook page. And I wrote,
oh my God, you cuss like a sailor on the phone.
I wrote something once and I had the word damn to emphasize something. First time ever. And I got an email that was this long from a woman of a certain age that told me that I was just trash for bringing that language into the internet. And I was like, where do you internet at?
Where do you internet at?
It was so funny.
Well, and somebody said the other day, well, that's why Amos says the F word. You're always saying it. I was like, I do not say it in front of him.
Yeah. Well, I've said it a few times in front of maybe. Mine are older.
Especially if I'm being funny. So anyway, I get the stocking. I hang it up and my daughter looks at it and says, who is Big Tanda?
I saw that.
Oh my gosh. What's it supposed to say? Big T and little A. Oh, that's funny.
That's really funny. I hope you're going to keep it because I think it's even better.
But I prefer big tits and ass.
I think Joe just walked by.
Yeah. What are you doing, Carrie?
Perimenopause, big T and A. What goes on these pages?
Okay. How,
you were saying, how do we manage?
I know. I kind of moved on from that.
Okay. Never mind.
This whole Christmas, juggling Christmas and hyperstimulation. Like, I feel like every day, because we've been out of school like a year, unlike you people, but every day I'm like, what are we going to do today? We have to have this plan.
Days are 20 hours long.
And it is really hard. It's like back to newborn days, which, Kate, you have a tiny baby. I hadn't had a baby in a while.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like I've had a baby now.
So I'll tell you, I think Cooper's autism. Okay, so this could be, how do I word this without making me, I don't know. We let Cooper works really hard at school.
Yes.
Cooper works very hard at school. And we think that weekends should be weekends. And so Cooper loves swimming. Cooper loves boating. Cooper does not like winter. So he spends a lot of time on his iPad.
Mm-hmm.
He's not always necessarily watching things. Like a lot of times he's like playing games or doing different things.
Right.
And so Cooper's really, really, really easy. Where we struggle, Adrienne, is he can't go anywhere.
Right.
So we're really homebound, and that's where we struggle bad. So we kind of have an opposite because Amos can go places, right?
Well, he's dying to go, like today or the last few days, he wants to go to Germany on a high-speed train.
Oh, we have those. Okay, we have that sort of thing. Outer space.
I like how he thinks.
Ride an elephant. Yep, we have that stuff too.
But like we can ruin a day over that.
Oh, really?
I mean, it can go, it goes really south. Like he'll have a great big meltdown that we're not on a high-speed train.
Yes, yes.
So his reality is what he sees. It's a bit altered for him. Like he really thinks that's in reach.
I don't know. He reads, I mean, it's not like he's just been reading a book about trains and he's zeroed in on this high-speed train in Germany, SR something. And I'm like, oh, let's go get your coat on. Time to go to the train station. And it's like, oh my God, we can't like this. Oh, anyway.
That's interesting.
But go ahead.
My days are different because Jack is in a college program. He's been there since July. This is the longest time he's been home. And I forgot how different my life is with him around because he doesn't drive. And he said to me, which is very fair. So he's in a small city up there. It still blows my mind even to say it. He gets up and he walks to Dunkin' Donuts. He has his debit card. He's very simple kind of delights, He doesn't need a lot, but he likes that life he's built.
Independent.
Last night what's that?
He's independent.
He's independent. Last night at dinner, he said, I can't wait to go home. Oh, I know.
And when did he get here? When did he get actually home?
He got home on Sunday.
Oh,
3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's the nest. He
said, I want to leave the house once a day, when I'm home. But I have my own little stuff going on. So then today I didn't get a chance. It usually revolves around food, a restaurant, the grocery store. He was going to make dinner tonight. But my two of them, so my oldest is home and then my middle son, they share a car. So now somebody's got my car. I don't have a car right now. So there's just these logistics. And we talked about this last week. I forgot what it was like to keep him busy all day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit of a weight on me, but I'm kind of taking your stance, Kate, and being like, you know what? It's the holiday. If he wants to, he's like Cooper, where he loves a device, but he wouldn't sit and watch like a 2-hour movie. I would feel better. Like eat up some time watching the Polar Express. I don't care, but he won't. He doesn't focus long enough for that. We have a great movie theater here that serves meals. So we'll go see, he'll sit for that if it's like combined. Mm-hmm. But he came to the gym with me, which means I got nothing done. So, it's that kind of thing.
You said something last week, Carrie, that I've been thinking about and quoting quite a bit on my supporter videos. You talked about your central nervous system being so heightened when he is around. And that really resonated with me because so this is something I've said about autism from the beginning. Whether the meltdown happens or not, it's almost the same.
Yes.
Meaning we have been living this great autism life for a couple of years now where we've carved out our space and he is the happiest little boy I know. And we know what's coming, but it almost doesn't matter because I'm still so waiting for the meltdown that it's almost, and one of the things I preach is you can't let that steal your joy.
Yes.
Do you guys relate to that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know it until he moved. Yep. I mean, I knew it cerebrally, but I didn't really know how it felt. And also I say all the time, kids like Jack, his nervous system can only match the highest nervous system in the room.
Yep.
So I live with a man with a lot of big feelings. He's Italian. He goes to a 12 kind of fast. I felt like I was always managing that too, because I knew once Joe got high, Jack would get high.
Well, and I can't, Cooper is very in tune to my emotions. So one thing that is a kind of a struggle in my marriage is I have to stay calm all the time, because if I rise, Cooper rises. So like, let's say Jamie and I are having, my husband and I are having a fight over something. Cooper will run up and pretend to kick me, or he'll run his head into me because he doesn't like that I'm super high up. Yes. So where it's affected my marriage is I have to stay this flat personality all the time. And he'll say to me, he's like, why don't you care that they wrote with Sharpie on the couch? And I'm like, I can't care that I'm dying on the inside. But can anyone relate to that?
Oh my gosh. I wish, though, I had your self-control. Truly, I admire it, because we didn't. And Joe and I are, we don't fight often, but when we do, it's big and it's loud. Jack can remember every argument we ever had. I mean, it is stored up here. He even texted me before he got home, I hope there's no arguments. And we don't argue that often. They're just, and we don't throw things. Right. We don't call each other names. We're just very in it. And it lodges in he's a memory keeper. He has a vault up here of every mistake I've ever made anyway. So, but I do understand, Kate, like that management is, I always say, like the umbilical cord between Jack and I never really severed. It sounds similar with you and Cooper, that you're just always connected in some way. And it's a lot of work to have somebody base their regulation off of you. It's so much stress. And I lived that way for 18 years. I mean, I'm still living it to some degree. But I feel, we're in fight or flight all the time.
Well, and I think you have to, when you get away from it and then you are back in it, I know if I get it all, he'll say, are you angry? Are you angry? And I'm like, well, I'm not angry, but I don't really doesn't do well with even saying, I don't like that. No, say, I don't like that. I mean, it's very against any kind of correction at all. So you can't even have these conversations of like, that's really an inappropriate, like when somebody said, well, you said that word. Well, if you had a typical 9-year-old and they had heard you say a bad word, they at least know enough to not say it in front of other people,
Yes.
So that lack of social acumen, that's the really tricky part, of those types of things.
Oh gosh, that leads to another topic, I think, and I want to see what you guys say about this. As Cooper is getting older, so he's 12 now, I'm finding one of the hardest parts to be the social norms he doesn't understand. For example, Cooper would have no problem like picking and licking. It's a sensory thing.
Yes.
Or this is a gross one. I don't want to be gross, but like he would have no problem grabbing gum and from under a table and popping it, and like things like that. Did you guys, so Carrie, your son's older, like I don't know if he'll ever get those social norms, and I find that makes me so angsty.
I mean, we definitely experienced that. Jack at times would like help himself up to other people's food, like if we were at the food court, or we
do that with drinks. We'll take anybody's drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or being at a ball field one time, and Jack went deep and dug deep, and I had a very visceral reaction because it just was so disgusting. So in some ways,
they stare at a big human picking that, doing these things. Right. Cooper also, and I remember you saying, I don't want to speak for you, but like, so Cooper struggles with his weight a little bit. And like, he has no problem with like his whole backside showing, where like Sawyer would know to cover his tummy.
Yeah.
Or like, I find that hard now that I'm dealing with like a man-sized person.
I totally agree, because Jack came home from school and I buy his clothes. He's giant. I can't emphasize how long his legs are. His pants are like 3 inches too short. Now he's on a college campus, and I don't want to care about that, but I would like him to assimilate in the ways that he can.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways he's never going to. And that being one of them. And then he got very huffy and defensive when I was like, we need to get you new pants. Why? These are good. And I don't want to be like, because it's like sending a college kid with Velcro sneakers. There's just ways you want them to blend if they can.
Well, and people are nice to people that look good.
Yep.
Oh, 100%.
You know what my mom told me? My mom worked her career to school, and before, even when Cooper was a baby, she's like, you clean his ears, you clean his face, nice haircut, dress nice, smell nice. She's like, because people are nicer to people or children who are clean. And that has stuck with me.
Well, you know what stuck with me is when you said he would come home and have, it was you, he had like his face was
one
messy.
time he came home with food on his face, and I knew it was from his lunch, and I was very nice to his teacher about it, and she apologized, but I was like, dignity is huge for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dignity is huge.
And I'm not a big dignity person. Like my other children, Blair went to school and they had school pictures that day, and of course I had no idea, and the teacher called me and said, she's got this like tattoo on her face, I guess from like a couple days ago. Do you want me to wipe it off for the school pictures? And I was like, well, does she want it off? She was like, no, she says it's fine. I was like, well, who cares?
Yeah, right.
Like, it's totally different for her, right? Like she wants to look terrible. That's her choice.
That's Sawyer too. I feel the same way about Sawyer. If you choose to have Nutella on your face, dude, well, I told you 3 times. Like,
right. And it's hard that's hard to balance 2 different species.
Well, I think what it is they're multidimensional, right? So people get really a few facets of Jack. He's not a great communicator. He doesn't really have a voice of his own sometimes. So the appearance, that impression is really instant for him. Where Blair she's already shown different sides of herself to her peers. So she has kind of representation in so many other senses, where I feel like Jack represents himself in just a handful of ways. And I want them to be just his best self.
Yep.
At what point did he like mind if somebody saw him naked? Because Amos, we had a group of teenagers here last night, and he had to go to the bathroom, and he was trying to take off the pajamas. And I thought to myself, boy, he has no awareness at all.
Cooper's 12 and he doesn't care. He keeps his clothes on, but like to be funny, like if we were to have people over, when he decides it's time for bed, so that's about 9 o'clock, he goes in the bathroom and gets naked and comes out, and it's so funny. He's like, and everyone's like, well, okay,
we're leaving now.
Yeah. So I have that same question.
Yes. So we had that issue too, as he got older, especially he got to be a tween, and we worked with this great developmental pediatrician, and she said, you have to sit him down and have the conversation. 2 things. These are things that don't get discussed much, that kids like Jack are sexual beings. They have feelings and they have hormones that direct them in certain ways. So she said, you sit down and tell him you don't touch anybody where a bathing suit covers from this point forward. And I thought, okay, that's very visual. We had a visual for it. Mm-hmm. He learned a lot. He picked up a lot from brothers. So he has a brother that book on either side of him that kind of give feedback of, we don't walk around in our underwear, Jack. We don't do this. So it didn't have to come from me.
Right.
We did have to have very specific conversations about private behavior. Because every adolescent boy engages in it. I'm really hard to offend or embarrass, so I'm the one they come to. But with Jack, it had to be like, okay, this is where that can happen, when that can happen. This is what accompanies that for the mess. And, we have a saying in this house that says we make the covert overt. So you make what's undercover and nuanced and gray areas. You just have to bring it out into the light for them. They're better off for it, because I did know he shares a room at this space where he lives, and I could be comfortable knowing he knew how to share space appropriately.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of undercover kind of topics that, with girls, I imagine it's getting their periods. I was grateful Jack was a boy. Because that would be, although I have 2 friends who have girls, and say that it was really not the big deal that they anticipated it to be, but it's certainly bigger things to sort of break down for them.
We're getting nervous about, not to dive in too deep, but we're getting nervous about hair, and just because so much has changed in his size and he still has a baby face. Anyone that knows Cooper, I mean, he is just a doll. But do any of you follow Eileen, Autism on the Side of Fries? Like, yes. She was the first person that ever said to me, like, it's way different when there's hair. I was like, wait, what? I mean, really, honestly, I was like, what? Because I always had this thought that he would just stay little.
I know.
Right.
I mean, when Jack started, it came quickly. I've read different things that say that it comes on earlier for kids on the spectrum, but nothing that's really substantiated. But it freaked him out. He got a razor one day, and and there was blood, and it was like he was going to get rid of this at all costs. Looking back, I should have started prepping him early on what to expect with his body. And there's a lot of books out there that would work. They're very visual, so they would work with all sorts of learners, but it was really, not only was so for Jack, his body was skyrocketing ahead of his spirit, and it was terrifying.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's the problem, because like Cooper loves Thomas the Train still, right?
And Barney and Elmo and Dora. I mean, he has some age appropriate things, but he loves his little things still.
Yeah.
And we're like that too.
Yeah, we're like that too. I mean, Disney, and it's different in some ways, but it's like he could tell you the latest celebrity that died. Like his interests tend to be surface, as I see my other kids sort of deep dive into interests and things that motivate them. Jax is sort of always skimming up here. It's celebrities, it's pop culture, movies.
Now, does he have social media, Carrie?
So no, he doesn't. He brought it up a few times, and we have guardianship, which was a really difficult process. I've talked a lot about it, and that's part of our guardianship, and it's largely to protect him.
Oh, yes.
That would be like lighting a match. So he does have one app, which is actually a lot of fun with kids. It's called Be Real. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, my crowd has that.
Yeah, it's basically, it'll give you it'll ping you to say, take a picture of wherever you are right now.
You have like 3 minutes to take the picture.
And then it takes a picture of you. So it's Be Real, right? REAL. So we started it. My middle son wanted to start it. And it's just a really cute way to see where we are during the day. So we let Jack get that, right? This is a perfect example. I haven't even told my husband this. We let Jack get that. But it is open to other things. Like people can friend you outside of your family network, right? So I'm in the grocery store with Jack 2 days ago, and there's this gorgeous redhead girl bagging up our groceries. He says, "Hi, Addison." And I said, "How do you know Addison?" And he said, "Oh, she's connected to Charlie, so she's on my Be Real." Oh. So he has no sense of like keeping his world small digitally.
Yes. Right. Well, it's just so dangerous. So I have a nephew. I don't talk a lot about him for no other reason, but he has a very rare syndrome, and he's in his 30s. And there's nothing more that he wants than to have a girlfriend. Like and he has a job. He does laundry for the VA. He lives independently. But my brother always says he has like a 4th grade education, but he does very well. And he got catfished really bad. And it was mortifying for him. Like he was so fearful that he was going to go to jail, and like she got like $500 from him. But I think in our little autism world, I think that probably won't be us. But these kiddos that understand more and want more. Yeah. Does Jack want a partner?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been some instances of like, but he hasn't clearly identified a gender. Yeah. And I interviewed this sex education person on my page, and she said that's common for spectrum. There's some fluidity there with who they choose. He very much wants somebody, like even just watching him welcome this new girlfriend into the fold, I could see that that's something he would like to emulate for himself.
Yeah.
But, he's also we never had iPads. That wasn't a thing when he was little. But now we did give him a phone, and he's on it really, really a lot. So I think social media would just draw him further into that world and actually isolate him from the real world even more.
But Carrie, he won't be naughty and get it? Like a neurotypical kid would just get the app.
Well, he did say to me, "I saw your Facebook video." And I was like, "How? You don't have an account." And I think somebody at school let him view it. So he's naive in the way that I said, I don't know where he is. He'd shriek if he heard me. We just got him this new haircut. He literally looks like he's enlisting in the military. He's naive in the sense that I can say, "I know when you're on." It's like Santa Claus. And it's maybe not the best, but he knows we have guardianship and that we still make certain decisions for him. Right. And I'll just say, I know everybody that comes on my Facebook, I can see it. And then he's also not, I talked a little bit ago about how he doesn't really lie. He's learned how to withhold information to some degree, but he's not a liar. So if I came right out and I was like, have you been on there? He would tell me the truth.
Right.
So would Cooper.
Yeah, and he wouldn't be able to help himself but from saying like, I saw on Instagram that the woman that, so and so and Charlie did this and I saw this meme. He wouldn't be able to control that. So I'm like 98% confident he's not on. Plus, I know the first thing he would do,
Is that me that's frozen or her?
I think it's her.
She's disappeared.
She's like in a winter wonderland.
She is in a winter wonderland. It's very beautiful there.
Oh, there I am. I don't know what happened.
You froze like this.
I did, so not a pretty way, not like.
Well, it was kind of pretty with the background.
No, it was pretty.
Oh no, you're freezing again on me. What do I look like now?
We're not freezing. We can see you.
Can I bring up a topic real quick?
Yeah.
Do any of you follow Bacon and Juice Boxes? I just love that page.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Carrie's frozen, but I think she knows her. So her name is Joanne Turning. Carrie, do you know Bacon and Juice Boxes?
Oh, yeah, I know of them. Yeah, I follow them.
Wonderful. So Adrian, make sure you give them a follow. Joanne has, her son is, 15, 16, Eric. But she had a post the other day that just dropped me to my knees. And I am like, people joke that I'm like heartless, that I don't like show emotion. She posted about who's going to throw Eric his 75th birthday. Yep. Yes. And it just ended me because we just threw Cooper 2 birthday parties. I mean, we just we do everything so big because he loves it so much. Christmas, every day we talk about Christmas all day long. And every day we talk about birthdays and we just surrounded our life around him. And I'm like, oh my God, who's going to throw him a birthday party? It just, very few things wreck me, and it got me.
I know. I feel that. And
I never thought about that.
Me either.
I think about Jack as an old man a lot. We're lucky. My husband's the youngest of 6, so we have a huge cousin network that dotes on him. And I don't know. People say it's not fair. It's a burden. My kids are just going to have to step up.
So are ours.
Yeah, it's just a reality. And I'm going to try to post about this later, that tomorrow my son has to bring his girlfriend back to the train station. It's like an hour and a half away. And I texted him. I said, can you just bring Jack? I just need to breathe. There's a store there that Jack really wants to visit. And he was like, sure. They do step up in these ways that are hard to capture.
And I think when you have multiple children, it helps as somebody who's an only child now, when it's my parents, it's only me. I'm the one handling everything. And it's tiring not to have another person just to bounce things off of,
right?
Or to feel like, okay, at least there's 3 of you, that you can kind of.
Yeah, they share in it. Now, is Eric an only child from Bacon and Juice Boxes?
No, so actually it's funny you said that. He has an older sister who was at college. Okay. And I was going to message Joanne, the mom, and say, your daughter will throw the party just like Sawyer will. Sawyer is so in tune with Cooper.
Yeah.
But I think that I've never thought about the 75th birthday, but where I've thought every day, this is just a really visual thing. Cooper's underwear and his pants are always all bunched up. They're always bunched up. And every day my husband bends down on his knees and pulls it down. And he's he always is oh buddy, that must be so uncomfortable. And he pulls it up and he does this every day, and I wipe his mouth. And that's where I think who's going to do those things for him?
No, I think you should take a moment and just honor Jamie. What a dad.
Yeah, that is nice.
It gives me goosebumps. He's always done that. He's always oh buddy, get over here, and he'll. Yeah.
So his dinner is okay. He earned it.
Oh yeah. So when we do my talk next week, I want to talk more about the sibling dynamic, and because I'll tell you before we hop off. So I have super big mixed feelings on this, and I talk about it a lot. Whenever I say we just had a Christmas concert for Sawyer, and Winnie and Harbor had a Christmas concert, and I had this kind of sad feeling that Cooper's never had that. He doesn't, and people are always well, at least you have other kids. And that's very important. But that doesn't negate the feelings of this. And I want to dig into that and talk about both sides, because there's both sides to that.
Well, the at least, I hate that phrase, at least. And I met with a grief therapist through my other page, and we're recorded for her, and she calls that disenfranchised grief we don't feel that we're allowed to experience, because when she named it, I'm like, that is the perfect description of it. We don't feel it has value because we do have blessings in our life, but that doesn't diminish the loss.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and I think when last week we hit on it for a minute, you were saying the struggle of like, you don't feel ready to leave Cooper to go do something with the others. But I think what like really got me moving towards that was hearing from these siblings. One who, when we went to Alaska and left Amos, and I had a woman send me a message, and she said, my mother and I are going to spend the night in this town near their house. And in 47 years, she's never left my brother. And she saw that you went to Alaska, and she said, if the debutante can leave, so can I.
Oh, it's goosebumps.
And here this daughter is, and this daughter has never had a night away with her mother.
Wow.
You know, and it was like, wow, I've got to make sure that more than the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yes. But isn't it those little tiny things? I mean, that is not tiny, but that thing that helps you go, okay, I can write another day. I can keep sharing.
Yes.
It's those little pieces where people say, I saw myself in your story.
Right.
And it resonated with me. And that makes me very motivated to continue just to reveal the raw and the ugly and the truth.
Yeah.
Totally. I had an adult sibling reach out to me and say that her disabled brother in his 40s lives with the mom, right? So very similar to what you're describing, Adrienne, and was saying that like they are so dysfunctional, this mother and son now. Like they eat dinner when he wants dinner at 2 p.m. and they watch Wheel of Fortune and go to bed at 7. And like she was just talking about like how dysfunctional it has gotten, and she doesn't know how to help or relate to her mom or her brother anymore. And I was like, oh, I don't want that. Speaking of dysfunction.
Right.
No. Yeah. It makes you consider how you want to develop different relationships in your life. Okay,
and that we can make choices. You know, we can make choices.
Yes.
Well, thank you all for coming on 4 days before Christmas.
Yeah. Have a beautiful holiday.
Yes.
Stay safe in your snow.
When are we live next? So my supporter page is, if you go to Finding Cooper's Voice and click on Become a Supporter, and we're going to be live next week, and I want to talk sibling.
Yes. So excited.
That will be great.
Have fun, Adrienne. Party hardy tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, friends.